Our ancestors taught the purpose of all human life is to achieve a state of consciousness apart from bodily concerns. If you know you are fully awake in consciousness, how do you sustain this nature of your consciousness? You can do so through non-stop effort. How do you do that? Through deliberate effort, determined effort, intentional effort, targeted effort, dedicated effort, and sheer hard work, provided you are doing the right thing. What are the benefits? The benefits are that conscious efforts are always rewarded with increased consciousness. Let's look at what is consciousness and where does it come from. In our Bantu languages, consciousness is ukubona, kuona, kushunura, papama, ji, vuga, muka, fukile, vukile, macho, tsohile, teta, kanguka, maranga. This is a word that comes from the Maoris, similar to mabori or maburi, which means a hole, which is the light cream colored crusty stuff that you always find at the corners of your eyes when you wake up in the morning, and in English it's called reum, and it is a sign of sound sleep, and then you wake up from that. This is not the general wakefulness that we are concerned with, but we are concerned with the sublime and the higher level, known as nehast by our scholars, which means to wake up, to awaken to the higher existence. How do you sustain at this level? By understanding consciousness spirit. Consciousness spirit refers to a lifelong and eternal ownership of your conscious experiences, individual awareness of your own internal thoughts, feelings, memories, imaginations, sensations, and determined goal or goals. Consciousness is often thought of as a stream, constantly shifting, ebbing and flowing as your thoughts and experiences of the whole world around you gives you your constant reality through vibrations via the spirit force field. Every thought, every action creates vibrations through the infinite field of consciousness. So you should be mindful of your thoughts and your feelings and emotions. There are, however, other systems that impede and which are deadly and stops the flow of consciousness spirit. These are academic fallacies. An example of this academic fallacy, one of them is the definition of consciousness. When asked the question, what is consciousness? We become conscious of consciousness. And most of us take this consciousness of consciousness to be what consciousness is. This is not true. The other systems that impedes and blocks the flow of consciousness spirit are drugs and alcohol, negative vibes, and the fear, as well as external stimuli propagated by those that want to control your soul. Since consciousness dominated the brain, many scientists assumed that the brain creates it. But since it slips away when we are asleep and can be distorted by drugs and alcohol or lost in accidents, all scientific explanations on how our brains create consciousness still eludes scientists today. So from where does our robust self-awareness and sentient arise from? Let's consider that from the characteristics of consciousness, characteristics such as unity, unit consciousness, intentionality, which is driven by willpower, selectivity, which is driven by choice and transient, we are aware of a reconnection to our true nature, which is a single nature, and being re-railed and re-driven to wholeness in consciousness flow. Generally, there are two force fields here that creates the flow of consciousness spirit. It is your car and your universal Akhu. So let's go into details now and say Sustaining the nature of your consciousness spirit begins with your individuality, which is your car. In many melanin dominant meta history, there is an understanding that the entire universe or multiple universes are one unit, conscious, intelligent, unnamed, and can never be known or can never have limits, and that your existence is part of all that. Individually, you own your own flow of consciousness spirit through the car, and this is a lifelong conscious effort that you must engage in, and to revive it and sustain it, you must have conscious effort in song and dance, harmonious singing, listening to vibrational music, rain dance, voodoo, blocking witches, telekinesis, deliberate manifestation, psychic meditation, hypnosis, alchemy, and even from friendly aliens, foes, and enemies. When your car and its force field are activated by practicing Mahati or Isfet, the increased nature of the flow of consciousness spirit ignites and expands via the third eye or the pineal gland, even a whole body vibration, your Akhu. Scientists now have come back and say they now understand the source of consciousness. When you go to this website, you will find that Professor McFadden argues that consciousness uses algorithms in space rather than time within the brain's electromagnetic field, not inside the brain, which we know as the Merkaba and which we know as the Akhu and part of the vibration of the soul. Induced or deliberate forgetfulness impedes flow of consciousness spirit and prevents nehast, this awakening to higher existence that we are talking about. It must be resolved through self-remembering, mindfulness, and other forms of enhanced attention, so as to lift up the Akhu's attention and awareness out of the matrix limits that have been created by meta as well as illusion. We know that the eye of Horesu is a quintessential symbol of awakening to divine consciousness, representing the concept of nehast or consciousness spirit flow. Scientists' discovery that our consciousness is connected to the energy fields of our brain has thrown in a new theory, which in truth is not new at all, because we knew of the car that it interacts with the Akhu, which is the universal nature where all parts of the soul and all our reality points to. The Akhu is part of the person's spirit that could dwell amongst the stars, universal, and be one with the universe. So when they speak of the droplet and the ocean, the Akhu is a droplet, and when it goes back to the ocean, it is all awareness and all consciousness. So the scientists, when they zero in on the brain, our ancestors had already zeroed in on it in Khamit using the halo, which was inherited by Christianity from ancient Khamit, and it symbolizes the sun, the solar sun, the center of our solar system in this galaxy where we dwell. It is therefore clear that classical mechanics or popular religions alone cannot explain consciousness, let alone the concept of consciousness, spirit, energy. Our ancestral principles of the Ka and the Akhu as aspects of the soul are very clear. There are other pitfalls for the soul that includes religious traps, like when you are told to receive another spirit, when you already have a spirit in you which just needs activation, when you are told to be born again, when you do not need to be born again because you already are, when you are told to ask Jesus to come in because he stands at the door and knocks. They want to take over. Someone wants to take over your consciousness spirit. When you are told to convert to Islam, to convert to Judaism, these are all soul traps. These are all consciousness spirit traps. They want the energy. They want to take over you. You must avoid anything that is taking over that awareness, that nehas, and putting your divinity to sleep. There are billions of aliens, billions of entities, billions of competing spirits that are looking for vehicles, that are looking for bodies, that are looking for souls, that are looking for human beings to ride on earth and enjoy the earth and use and abuse the bodies. Your vehicle is yours. You must drive this body, and they must never be allowed to manipulate your soul to sleep. You must be alert every nanosecond of your life, because this is how you sustain the nature of your consciousness through non-stop consciousness spirit. Every thought, remember, every action, remember, creates vibrations. So some of your vibrations, some of your thoughts, some of your actions invite these negative forces. How can you stop that and be mindful of that? Our ancestors in the principles of mentalism taught that the mind is all. The universe is mental. Thoughts lead to manifestation of things and events. Thoughts create our state of existence and the quality of our experience here on the earth. Therefore, be responsible for everything you create by being responsible for everything that you think. That's the principle of mentalism. Since classical mechanics alone cannot explain consciousness, to really know something means you must know its history. Here is the history of consciousness from a quantum science perspective, is understood by our ancestors prior. They say here on this quote that we have, quantum physics demonstrates the creation of many possible futures for each moment of our lives. Every future lies in a state of stillness until the decisiveness it has formed in the present moment awakens it. But how? It has a lot to do with the origins of consciousness. The universal ether takes us back to the waters of Nyunyu, of ancient Africa. The substance from Nyunyu is not clearly understood by scientists, but held by our ancient Khamiticians to be very high manifestation, of which it has been mistaken by others and atheists and many others as matter, energy, or a force. At the highest ever degree level of vibration, the Akhu connects. It's taught by the Khamiticians that this Akhu is an ethereal substance that is very elastic and pervades the universal space in all directions, serving as a medium or force field in which the car interacts and connects and vibrates. And it is a transmission of waves of vibratory energy such as heat, light, electricity, and we tap into this via our thoughts, our emotions, love or hate. We must understand the void or the chasm or mkaha and the separation that it gives us. Some want to call it an illusion, but it's not an illusion, it's a reality, because the creator is not a spirit, the creator is not a being, the creator is not a he or a she or an it. We just don't know, because we are a droplet of the ocean. We cannot behave like the ocean. So vibration, which is mtetemo, and in Igbo is imajijiji, totomelo in Soto, kuririma in Chikaranga, ukugangezela in Yoruba, gibon, ukudliliza, waves, amagagas, igbi, amaza, masaisai. This is how we vibrate. This came from the waters of Nyunyu. This is the origin of, these are the origins of consciousness. The halo effect and deliberate choice for consciousness spirit flow gives us from a mind-blowing quantum theories about the human brain. The mind exists as a field surrounding the brain in a parallel universe. You create a universe by perceiving it, and this is your conscious experience of the world. Conscious effort here comes into play. So just like the television does not create the program, no, the brain creates consciousness. We have already shown that the consciousness comes from the waves and the waters of Nyunyu, the vibration of those. The brain is full of geometrical structures operating in many dimensions. So it needs those activations that we have already demonstrated and shared: dancing, music, good food, thoughts, clear thinking, intentions, everything. We are pure consciousness currently focused on a physical dimension, third dimension. This is quantum physics. Look at Neil Donald Walsh here. He says quantum physics tells us that nothing that is observed is unaffected by the observer. That statement from science holds an enormous and powerful insight. It means that everyone sees a different truth because everyone is creating what they see. The ultimate metaphysical secret, if we dare to state it so simply, is that there are no boundaries. Yes, there is a chasm here. Boundaries are illusions. Yes, the chasm is there. It's an illusion in a very subtle sense because you are part of the whole. That's how it is an illusion. Products not of reality but of the way we map and edit reality. And while it is fine to map out the territory, it is fatal to confuse the two. I need to say more. On your own consciousness spirit. Since you know you are fully awake in consciousness, your car force field leaves a full Ma'at vibration and your Akhu is universally vibrating in totality. So you have to engage in self-remembering, mindfulness, and enhanced attention. When you do that, you have lifted yourself out of the holographic illusion and you have activated your daily reality through good music, good thoughts, healthy food, song and dance. You must enhance your ancestral vibes and divine or divinity relationships. And finally, practice magic daily. How do you do that? By visualization. Consciously set energy in motion. When your actions match your intent, the laws of physics align and magic happens. We make every effort to ensure that our subjects, images, facts, and historical realities are presented to teach us to live a fulfilling, exciting, and exuberant happy life on earth into the beyond. Get in touch with us as we share and provide beneficial information on many other platforms than what is published and said in this video. You can use our email join@marifado.com. Till we meet again, your manager Topi LM Tumizulu says your vibration from the waters of Nyunyu gives your consciousness spirit life and reality and the connection to the all. Amen.